Wait, hi everyone. Welcome to the third AIM Parenting live stream of 2025, and where we will support you in your journey of nurturing your child's potential. So for those who haven't met us before, I'm Lucy.
I'm
And
Amanda.
this is Amanda, and we are your AIM Montessori parenting consultants. So today we are diving into the magic of treasure baskets, which is an amazing resource, especially for babies. And there is an exciting event coming up. So make sure you watch until the end for details. So, Amanda, would you like to talk a little bit about the history behind the magic?
Yeah, absolutely. So the history behind the magic. So interestingly, I first came across treasure baskets during my Montessori training, but the concept of treasure baskets was actually developed by Eleanor Goldschmied, who, like Montessori, was also a pioneer in early childhood education.
Yeah, so Goldschmied, she was trained as a Montessori teacher at the Froebel Institute in London, and she later became a psychiatric social worker. She moved to Italy from the UK, and much like Maria Montessori, helped transform childcare practices in Italy and around the world.
So what is a treasure basket? So this incredible resource is a simple yet powerful learning tool for babies. It's a collection of natural household objects placed in a sturdy basket designed for a seated baby around kind of 5 to 6 months.
Typically, 5 to 10? Sorry, about 5 to 10.
5 to 10 months to explore freely. So the idea behind the treasure basket is to bring the world to the baby, allowing them to engage with different textures, shapes, and materials through their senses. So the more variety in the objects, the richer the experience, sparking curiosity and, most importantly, supporting brain development.
Yeah, and treasure baskets, as you see, they align so beautifully with Montessori principles, although they're not inherently a Montessori resource per se. Well, they encourage hands-on learning, sensory exploration, and independent discovery. So as you'll see, there's so much that we can get from this simple resource. And most importantly, they are child-led, meaning that they meet it. These treasure baskets, they meet babies exactly where they are developmentally, allowing them to explore at their own pace. And it's amazing to see how something so simple can provide such deep, meaningful learning. Believe me, these treasure baskets are truly magical. And here we have a beautiful quote from Dr. Maria Montessori that says, "What the hand does, the mind remembers." And guess who's in the picture, Amanda?
I know. I just have to do a shout out to my beautiful nephew, Ollie. This was his debut on the front of Montessori International magazine when he was, I don't know, he was probably about 8 months old. He's now actually 16. So yeah, that's my nephew, Ollie.
It was just the other day, people. We're not getting old.
Exactly.
So now, it's something so interesting. So like, why does Montessori emphasize hands-on learning? Well, the thing is, if a child can use their hands to discover, their discoveries become more meaningful to them. So the concepts that they learn are much more rooted than any rote memorization could be, because in using their hands, they experience their learning. They are active participants in it. So the question is, why are treasure baskets so magical for babies?
So firstly, they encourage sensory exploration. So during the first years of life, a baby's primary way of learning is through their senses. And treasure baskets offer varied textures, shapes, weights, and sounds, engaging their senses of touch, sight, sound, and even smell. And providing real natural materials, treasure baskets offer richer sensory experiences than plastic toys.
So if you think about it, like treasure baskets, they can provide babies so much more than, like when you go like as a young parent or like as a teacher who's trying to bring all of these things like to, like to their classroom or their daycare. There is nothing more special than just what I usually say is just shop in your own home, shop around
Absolutely.
your own school, because it's the everyday objects that are going to provide, especially these babies, with the richest sensory experiences. Well, and then the second point is treasure baskets, they support concentration. So as you see, like babies, they naturally focus deeply when engaged in exploring a treasure basket. And it's so incredible to see these babies. It's like the way that they just focus in them is beyond anything you'll ever see, because they're using their senses to discover like the properties of each object. So they'll start feeling that something is hard, something else is soft, something is cold, something else is warm, something is a bit fuzzy or is a bit rough, and the other one is very soft. So it's all of these sensorial stimuli that a baby really needs, and again, you have them in your home. And the thing is, like this quiet and independent exploration nurtures the ability to concentrate, which is obviously a fundamental skill in Montessori education.
So the third reason why these treasure baskets are so magical is they promote independent play. So they are designed for self-directed activity. The baby chooses which items to explore, how to interact with them, and how long to focus on them, fostering a sense of autonomy. And this aligns with Montessori's principle of respecting the child's natural development and interests. And I've actually seen babies focusing for up to an hour on a single treasure basket. So they really are incredible for that focus and independent play.
That's really cool, isn't it? Well, and the fourth one is treasure baskets stimulate problem solving skills. So babies naturally manipulate objects to figure out their properties. So they're going to do some rolling or shaking or mouthing, or they're going to bang them. It doesn't really matter. It's their way of exploring. And this exploration helps them build problem solving and critical thinking skills as they discover cause and effect relationships. So, like when you see a baby just throwing things like across a room, this is not them just, like trying to call your attention or being naughty. This is them trying to see, as little scientists, like the cause and effect relationships. So what happens if I throw this? What happens to it? This is them testing out.
I love that idea of them being like little scientists. They really are. It's
Oh
their
my.
way of learning and their way of exploring the world. So another benefit is that the treasure basket provides a real world connection. So Montessori emphasizes the use of real natural materials to help children connect with their environment. And treasure baskets filled with everyday familiar items like wooden spoons, metal cups, pom-poms, pine cones, just to name a few things, help babies begin to understand the world around them.
Again, I think this is what every living creature who's new to this world needs, isn't it? It's just trying to understand what's happening. What are all of these new things? Remember, for us adults, a spoon is just a spoon. But for a baby, it's such a huge discovery. It's so interesting. So, like, always try to see from the eyes of that child, of that baby, and see how much, like how interesting these everyday objects can be for them, especially when they start seeing how they're used by us.
Absolutely. I mean, I think the question they're asking is at this stage is, what is this? They are just so curious. They're not yet at the stage where they want to necessarily know how to use it, but it's just,
No,
what
yeah,
is this?
that's it. Yeah. Well, and then last but not least, treasure baskets, they encourage motor skill development. So think about like picking up and manipulating objects of different sizes and weights. All of this is going to help strengthen fine and motor skills, fine and gross motor skills, because babies, they practice grasping, transferring items between hands, and exploring objects with their mouths, which is completely natural, all of which supports hand-eye coordination and also tactile exploration. So, oh my God, you see, it just baffles me to see how one simple resource can bring so much to the table. And again, nobody here is saying, hey, check my Amazon affiliate link. No, it's the other way around. Just see what you have in your home.
Absolutely. And have fun. I mean, go to, if you want to kind of, explore further, you could go to charity shops, you could go to hardware stores, and just have a look around for those objects that are going to have the textures and the sensorial sort of attributes that babies are just going to love. Even something like a bath plug, obviously you've got to be cautious of safety and
we'll tell you this. But and I'll tell you what, Amanda, it's so cool that you mentioned charity shops. Like, as Montessorians, hey, Montessorians, if you're out there, like, give me a high five if you shop at a charity shop, because that is the best place for you to find so many bits and bobs that are aligned with the Montessori approach, isn't it? Especially if you're, like if you're doing like Montessori at home activities as well. I mean, there's no better place, is there?
No, I love it. It really gives another sort of interest for when you're kind of going around these shops, especially now that, you've got the idea of this treasure basket. So have fun with it.
That's it. And I'll tell you, you're going to start seeing charity shops with in a whole different perspective, aren't you?
Absolutely.
It's lovely. So now, shall we talk a little bit about our role as adults when it comes to treasure basket?
Yeah, so I think this is really crucial, actually, because I think a lot of parents feel that it's up to them to entertain their child constantly. And actually, what's beautiful about the treasure basket is our role is to be responsive, but not directive. So the baby actually leads the play. So our job really is to be a secure base for that child and to observe. Now, this is a really, really difficult skill if you're not used to doing it. So I remember when I was training as a Montessori teacher, we were literally told to sit on our hands if we had to allow our the babies in our care to explore independently. And actually, you'll be amazed at how long a baby can stay focused when they aren't interrupted. And I know it's so tempting to sort of, direct the play for them. But when we sit back, you'll be amazed at actually the focus that can take place with your baby.
Yeah. And again, it's like when it comes to observing, again, we are being the scientists observing another scientist. So trying to see, like, through these observations, what do you see? Like, what kind of interest is your baby showing? Like, do they have like any preference in terms of texture or object? Is there anything that maybe like your child is not even interested in? So take notes and see, like, if you can take something away or if you can add something new to it. Observation is key. And again, Montessorians, don't we know that observation it just plays such an important role in education, because it's through understanding how our children develop and what their interests are that we are going to prepare the environment in a way that serves them. Remember that we are not going against their nature, and that we are not offering them what we think is going to be the best for them. But we need to step back a bit and just see, what is it that child, that baby is trying to tell us, even without any words?
So, Montessori talks about this inner teacher of the child. Like, the child has this inner drive, and we don't know why a child has chosen a specific object or what it is, what need it is that it's meeting in that child. But by actually just stepping back and observing, it actually makes it a really joyful experience for the adult and a parent, because you really get to see your child in a deeper way. So yeah, again, it's a really interesting experience for you as well as the adult.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we're talking about our roles as the adult. So we've discussed about kind of, sitting back and allowing your child to lead the play. Another thing is obviously safety. So, select safe, non-toxic items that are large enough to avoid choking hazards, and clean the items regularly to ensure hygiene. We know that babies learn by putting things in their mouths, which is absolutely part of their developmental phase that they're going through. But this will actually evolve as your baby grows and begins to use their other senses more. But at the beginning, yeah, they will be putting everything in their mouth because that is how they are learning.
That's it. And then I would say that one of the questions that parents and educators tend to ask us is, but how many items should I include in the basket, right? So the thing is, again, just like the Montessori approach, less is always going to be more. So obviously, like if you give a baby too many choices, they may start feeling a bit overwhelmed. So when you have like a treasure basket, and again, like remember what Amanda said about having a basket that is sturdy and firm, because especially the baby's going to lean on that basket, and the baby's going to use that basket as a support. So make sure that it's a sturdy basket, okay? That is also safe, obviously. So I would say that in that basket, if you put between 5 to 8 items of different textures and sizes and colors and shapes, this is going to be the basket, quite simple and very manageable for your baby to explore. And again, like you're going to observe how your baby is going to interact with these items. And then you can start adjusting the number, like based on their engagement. As I said, observing is key. Okay, so make sure that you try and understand where your baby's coming from, what they're trying to tell you, and adjust accordingly. Okay, so this is obviously like something that can evolve based on your baby's interests. And again, like this is so unique, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I was also just going to say, in terms of the type of basket, choose a basket that's quite low around the edge so that your baby can actually see into the basket and then can actually kind of manipulate the materials by themselves. So just a couple of tips there on when choosing the type of container to put the objects in.
Yeah, so something shallow enough that the baby can see from a distance, right? But not so shallow that things are going to fall out of it very easily. So obviously, like it shouldn't be something like a tray, but it also shouldn't be something so deep that the child can't see through it. Try to put that sweet spot.
And I was also going to say that another tip is to, you could always use like a neutral colored mat. So you could either use the mat to use as a sort of lid for the basket so that the things stay clean and dust free. And then when the child's actually using the basket, you can put the mat under the basket. And again, because these are quite light and small items, they can be taken away with you. So this is like a movable feast. Wherever you are, you can take this this treasure basket with you and allow your child to continue the routine that you've set up with it. So that's what's really special.
And what do you think about like using maybe like a cloth bag on the go, like as a little treasure basket on the go?
I love that idea. Like to bring to like a restaurant or a cafe, or just a few items, especially the ones maybe that you've seen that your child gravitates towards in the basket. You can just get a cloth bag, put them inside, and then that will just be so exciting for your child and engaging when you're out and about. Or on a plane, a plane would be amazing.
On a plane, in the car, on the go. Like there's so many places where, like these items from the treasure baskets can be used. And again, it's like the beauty, at least like from my perspective, the beauty is not just like having like this beautiful basket itself, but it's the object. So obviously like, like if space or the context won't really allow you to have the basket itself for you to place these objects, focus on the objects, right? And then just see
Absolutely.
what is the best way for you to display them in an inviting way for the child. Because at the end of the day, you want the child to feel invited to
Yes.
it, right? You
Very
don't want them
important.
to feel pushed into trying to explore something. That's not
Yeah.
the idea. When it comes to Montessori, everything is an invitation. So make sure to, just make sure that it's beautiful enough for that child to go, wow, I wonder what that is. Let me give it a go. Now,
Absolutely.
as we said at the beginning, there is a really, really exciting event coming up.
There is indeed. So, if you're local to Hampshire in the UK, we have something really special for you. We are hosting a hands-on treasure basket workshop at a wonderful community centre for new and expectant families in Fareham. It's designed especially for parents new to Montessori, where you'll learn how to create your very own treasure basket tailored to your child's development.
That's it. And what's really cool about this workshop is that it won't be a workshop 100% on treasure baskets, but it's also going to be like a very friendly introduction on what is Montessori, right? Why is this name, why does it keep coming up all the time, right? Because so many people hear it, they have no idea what we're talking about. So many people go, oh, but is it Montessori? Nope, it's not the car park.
Absolutely. That was always something I used to get. Is
Isn't
it
it?
Montessori car park?
Is it
Yeah.
Montessori? No.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great way for us to introduce what is Montessori, especially what is Montessori at home. How can we make sure that it happens in a healthy and respectful environment? Like, it's just going to allow your child to thrive and to grow in, like become that independent, like child with such beautiful self-esteem, who's confident and a wonderful problem solver, isn't it? Because I think that's, and happy, of course, like we all want to be happy. So it's going to be a really, really cool workshop. And then again, it's going to be in Fareham. So it's between Southampton and Portsmouth, here in the south of England. And again, like we're going to discover like what are the best materials to include, and like have these parent specific questions answered as well. So it's going to be a workshop for, we don't want it to be big because we want to make sure that we give every family our full and undivided attention. So obviously, like the spaces are limited. So, don't miss out. We are going to drop the link in the comments. As we said, it's going to be an in-person event. So we appreciate that, for the global audience, it may not be ideal. But hey, if by any chance you want us to, to present an online workshop on treasure baskets, why not?
Absolutely. Just get in touch with AIM Parenting, and we would absolutely, it's a passion of Lucy and I's, and we would absolutely love to facilitate a workshop on treasure baskets for your school or community. So yeah, just get in touch and let us know what you need and want.
That's it. Especially if you're part of like groups of parents, send them our way because we are here to serve you guys. And then feel free also to drop us an email to parenting@aimmontessori.org. Okay, so that's it. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. Amanda, do you have anything you would like to say? Any final words for this live stream?
Yeah, I would just like to say again, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to have you here again. And just to say that in a couple of weeks' time, we have a very special guest. We have got Yogi Patel, who is a positive discipline lead trainer. And she is going to discuss an amazing positive discipline tool called Family Meetings, which is incredible for so many different life skills that we want for our children in the long term and now. So if you want more harmony at home, make sure you tune in a couple of weeks' time with our guest, Yogi Patel.
And just a final thing, If by any chance you are a teacher and you don't really have children at home, come and watch us as well, because family meetings can also turn into class meetings. So,
Yeah.
and you see, they can be so powerful. So, yeah, we would love to see you guys again 2 weeks from today. And yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, or maybe beginning to your day. And we will see you then. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. See you soon.